A jellied meatloaf from 1931. We begin with a pound of ground beef. You don't want the sky beef, that would be scary. Fire! Who's mooing now? Strain it and let it cool. It's not dinner time until you add a pack of gelatin to some water. Onion and celery. Celery.
You know what stings more than a knife, Mr. Onion? Rejection.
Now 2 cups of chicken stock. Time to boil. Strain the stock into the gelatin. No veggies allowed.
Thank you for your service.
Now that this is thick, we add in the beef, pimentos, and then we mix. This is revolting. No. What a joy. To the fridge. Good morning. Oh! Incorrect! It's a cat food recipe! Choke! Liver cakes from 1947. So the liver is an organ which collects and filters all of the toxins from an animal throughout their lifetime. So why we prance about it, eat it, is beyond me. With that being said, I've never tried it. Until now. Into a pot of water goes a pound of calf's liver. This recipe asks for calf or mutton liver. But when I asked about mutton liver to the butcher, he just asked if I was okay. Fire! While that boils, we need a 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs, flour, salt, pepper, plus dried sage, and onion. Then we drain the... What? I don't want to do this! Mince the liver. You know, I used to have a sock like this. This is disgusting. 2 eggs. Get in. Now we make patties. What do you think we fry these in? Lard. Let me get my lard bucket. Then you just... lemon lards with liver and lard. There's something deviant about this. Tastes like metal. I don't like that. Magic mayo from 1951. What is magic mayo besides a mistake? I don't know, but the first ingredient is sweetened condensed milk. Don't worry though, it's only 2/3 of a cup into a jar. It'll just take 12 years, 1/4 cup of olive oil, 1/4 cup of vinegar, the yolk of 1 egg. I find this incredible because mayonnaise is actually dairy-free, yet these people have managed to turn this into a lactose bonanza. We finish up with a pinch of salt, cayenne, and ground mustard. Now we seal and shake vigorously, preferably to kill whatever demon we've summoned. You know, I used to like mason jars. Then came gentrification. To the fridge! Okay. Well, that's awful. But nobody eats mayonnaise by itself. No! It tastes like sunscreen! Il Corno from the Great Depression. What is the cheapest food? Was the question asked at the height of the Depression. So food scientists at Cornell came up with this. We start with a cup of cornmeal. So far so good. Then a 1/2 cup of powdered milk. That didn't last long. Teaspoon of salt. Mixed into a saucepan with 3 cups of water. Chunky. Bring to a prolonged boil. Fire! Just how prolonged is this boil? It's done. Now, if this were to be your dinner, you'd add some tomato sauce and some pepper. For dessert, a touch of molasses and cinnamon. Tastes like a wet blanket. They're all so sad, like depressed polenta. Oatmeal that needs therapy. Unemployed grits. A Fiesta peach spam bake from 1954. Yes, folks, Thanksgiving is soon upon us, which means plenty of family drama, so I say why not just cut to the chase, serve this, and make everybody visibly upset. We begin by draining a can of sliced peaches. Save the syrup. Time for spam. Nothing says the holidays like ambiguous meat. Please exit. Now we slice it lengthwise 4 times, but don't go all the way through. Stuff the spam with cloves. Are you joking? You're not joking. This is ridiculous. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. 2021's been a rough year. Mercy. Now we insert the peaches into the spam. Open up. Time to receive peaches. To the 1/4 cup of peach syrup, we add 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Are you aware that the syrup is sugar? Now that's just vulgar. Add the peaches. $3.75 for 35 minutes. Oh dear. Why do I keep doing this? That's not a good laugh, because this tastes like if Christmas gave up. A peanut pie from 1941, courtesy of the Caro Kid, who I can only describe as an infant male escort. Ready? Work with me here. You need a haircut. Any big plans for the weekend? Whole cup of Caro. A cup of sugar. So you want sugar with your sugar. Diabetes go buh. Eggy shell. You didn't see anything. Margarine. Vanilla. 8 ounces of peanuts. All right. Stop looking at me. Avast! Oh God. What have you done? Oh. Demon baby! What did I do? It tastes like crunchy diesel. A pepper cake from 1915. Instead of regular flavorings, this cake uses peppercorn and caraway, which is an interesting idea because it's awful. Half cup of butter. Sugar. 2 egg. You hate to see it. And a cup of syrup. What do you want, Miss Butterworth? Ma'am, this is very runny, like me in an hour. To a half cup of sour cream, we add an entire tablespoon of cracked pepper, caraway, and then the floofers. Introducing the world's worst dip. Get in, flour. A cup of raisins. Love those. Yay. Bacon oven. Well, at least you specified the appliance, huh? I was gonna bake this in the dishwasher. Oh, it's bizarre. It tastes like an identity crisis on a plate. A perfection salad from 1961. In typical 60s fashion, we're using gelatin. We meet again. Nothing says salad like animal collagen. Half cup of boiling water. Apple cider vinegar. Lemon juice. Bit of salt. In you go. Now we shred celery, carrots, and cabbage. Always wash these real good. Celery's just like your parents. Dirtier than you think. This was supposed to be a fun way to get kids to eat their vegetables. How'd that work out, America? Onion powder. Pepper. Okay. What's the point? Go. A loaf pan? Really? I just love when my salad comes in a brick. Good night. Good morning. It's time for mayonnaise. What have you perfected? Garbage. It's cold, limp, and crunchy and bad. A pickled cheesecake from 72. Says this cheesecake stands out because it's savory. You don't think it has anything to do with the pickles? We start with a pretzel crust. Melted margarine. Time for the filling. Pound of cream cheese. Cup of sour cream. Goat cheese. And some pickle juice. Beat until soft. Honey, I don't need instructions. I'm single. Egg. Parmesan. Garlic. Onion powder. And red pepper flakes. At least it's hot garbage. Now for the star of the show, an entire cup of dill pickles. Smooth top. Yes. 45 minutes at 350. Good night. Oh boy. What is that? No, it's a demon quiche. A polka dot prune loaf from 1951. So we're either going to be polka dotting the loaf or polka dotting the toilet. I know where I've got my money. Start by cooking 28 prunes, which is actually 28 too many. Water. 3 cups of Bisquick mix. Not sure if I'm curious or scared. Eggy moo juice. Now we form a dough. I wanted to make this last year, but I couldn't because there was a toilet paper shortage. Roll out and cut into 28 squares. Don't look at me. I couldn't tell you where this is going. I just know it's the wrong destination. Melted butter. Sugar. Then we wrap and dip each prune before going into a loaf pan. This has to be the most complicated laxative on the planet. Dip. Spice in the pan. Keep the balls arranged closely. That is solid advice. First row done. Row 2. Top the 3rd row with nuts and bake. I don't know about this. Between the Bisquick and the prunes, it's just very odd. Plus, it's liable to punish the porcelain. A poor man's cake from the Great Depression. The Depression was bad, right? People were crawling around on all fours in their yards eating dandelions. No, that's not an exaggeration. Those who were better off, like Ruth here, came up with recipes like this. Though bless her heart, she couldn't spell raisins. That's okay, Ruth. We start by cooking 1 cup of said raisins with 2 cups of water. Fire! We're boiling this until it reduces by half. Then we beat in a whole cup of shortening. I mean, I think that's a little excessive. In goes 1 egg. Plus a teaspoon each of ground cloves, allspice, and cinnamon. Ruth, I don't think that's gonna help. Finally, we add 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 2 cups of flour. Oh, this does not look right. There are no baking instructions at all, so we're just gonna do 350 for Lord knows how long. About 45 minutes. Did you notice there was no sugar? My legs are shaking, and not in the good way. Well, that tastes like a diagnosis. That is severe. A poor man's pie from 1949. Now this has to be the simplest pie recipe I've seen during my time on this earth. I'm not even sure this is going to make a pie. But first, pastry. Good afternoon, Mr. Pastry. How you been? How's the wife? How you like that? Welcome to the real world. For the filling... For the filling, we have a pint of cream, cup of sugar, 3 tablespoons of flour, and that's it. If this is a pie filling, then I'm Captain America. And then in it goes. We do get to sprinkle nutmeg on top. How extravagant. In this goes at 425 until it sets like a custard. I have no idea. It looks upset. Well, it's great. So long as you don't have to eat it. It's sweet goop. I don't get it. Because now I'm still a poor man, just with a mediocre pie. A pork belly fruitcake from 1915. Meat and desserts was quite common back then. So was botulism. Steep a pound of pork in a cup of water. Fire! Honey, would you like Earl Grey or pork? I'll take a divorce. Sugar! Cup of molasses. Sweet, bitter, and meaty. Like my ex. Yeah, why is it foaming? Do you think you could hear me? Currants. Peel. Apple juice. What? Ginger. Don't say it, Dylan. Cinnamon. Needs flour. 1, 2, 3. How big is this cake? $3.50 for 2.5 hours. Suppose any less and it might gain consciousness. Chungus. She's looking like a house foundation. Right, we got 2 fruitcakes here. What's scary is that it's not terrible. It's got this oily richness to it, but something just ain't right. I think it's the pound of pork. A prune pie from the Great Depression. Why just live in the Great Depression when you could also have chronic diarrhea? Wants me to plump in my prunes in water. I ain't plumping my prunes in nothing. Buy me dinner first. Pastry! Are you getting plump? Is plumping even a verb? I have birthed you. Easy does it. Blind bake the pie shell. That was distasteful. It looks like a failed grave robbery. Crust complete. Fire! Sugar. Prunes. Smells like botulism. It's 10 p.m. and I'm boiling prunes in my kitchen. Walnuts ain't gonna save this recipe, sweetie. Beat egg whites. How many? Stiff. Fold together. How does one know when a laxative is done cooking? Alrighty. You know, it's not bad. It just vaguely tastes like a felony. A ration cake from World War II. So it's the 40s and we don't have any butter, sugar, milk, or eggs, and we need to make a cake. What do? Panic! Into a saucepan goes 2 cups of raisins plus 1 cup of water. In the interests of civil defense, we look to raisins to substitute our sugar. So you want me to boil raisins? It ain't easy being a patriot. Fire! This is awful. A half cup of lard. Just give up. Don't make a cake. A whole cup of molasses. No, this is not worth it. It's not. Looks like barbecue sauce. Smells of death. For the dry ingredients, we need 1.5 cups of flour. Half teaspoon of baking soda. And the only spice we get is cloves. Cloves. It's always the cloves. Mash the raisins. It's been nice knowing you. This would make me enlist. Get in. Get off. $3.25 for an hour. Oh no. Oh no, ma'am. Just no. A roughage loaf from 1892. Now my first thought was, who comes up with this? And then I took a look at the front. My man looks like he does taxes for fun. We start with an entire cup of wheat germ. Roughage is what dead people call fiber. And this is enough to incapacitate 1 medium child. Half a cup of flaxseed. Sure this wasn't meant for a bird? 1 cup of buttermilk. And a cup of molasses. This takes a while to come out. Don't worry, I did too. Then we leave this to soak for half hour, just to make it edible. Half cup of prunes. And of course it's the prunes. What else would it be? This man's really out here making people B-52 their toilets. This is either gonna plug you up or bring the morning thunder. Your boy said friendly fire. Cup of whole wheat flour. Have you no mercy? A teaspoon of floof soda. Get in, prunes! This is culinary terrorism. $3.50 for 40 minutes. When I tell you that this is a brick, I mean it. It is a piece of masonry. Tastes like a bookshelf. Books included. That is bad. A Snickers salad from 1974. Yes, this is one of these salads, which definitely isn't a salad because America is unsupervised and they can't be stopped. We start by chopping 10 ounces worth of Snickers bars. Hey Dylan, what you doing? Oh, I'm just making my salad. You know, with the chocolate bars. Come on. Cup of cold milk. Moo juice. 2 packs of vanilla pudding. 4 Granny Smith apples. For what? Solidarity? Granny don't deserve this. Whatever happened to respect your elders? Now into the pudding goes a tub of Cool Whip, because we don't give a shit. In goes the apples. And the Snickers. You don't measure this in calories, no. You measure this in years taken off of your life expectancy. For best results, chill. You need to chill! Is it good? No. Is it bad? No, it's sugar! Go ahead, feed this to a child. You're gonna yeet them into orbit. Goodbye, Johnny. Post-terrestrial. Where's Johnny? Johnny is gone. A spam pie from the 1960s. A little late in the century for war crimes. Crust is saltines. Downshift. Boda. Eggy. Marjoram. Are you just making things up? Who are you? You know, I've never been particularly religious, but today might be the day. A cup of evaporated milk. Have you lost the plot? I feel like if I do this correctly, I'm gonna invoke the spirit of Richard Nixon. This ain't food, honey. This is a bioweapon. Cheddar. You're a monster. Liposuction looking. Decorate with almonds. Decorate? How do you decorate a tumor? He says, don't worry. They'll toast in the oven. We're not concerned about the almonds. I am in utter fear. Salt! God damn! Yeah, this is severe. Tastes like an IHOP kitchen floor. A soured raisin pie from the Second World War. Now, I know this is gonna be awful because it calls for soured milk, not buttermilk, not milk and vinegar, no, honey. Soured bad milk! Oh, she thick! The raisins! Use butter pastry for flavor. Flavor! 3, 2, 1, blast off! To the toilet. A cup of sour cream. Disgusting wasn't enough for you. Call the UN. Add spices. Thanks for that. What goes well with IBS? Brown sugar. Smells like Normandy. Charming. Bake until done. You're a piece of work. Goodbye. The pothole. I should have gone to church. No. Tastes like a shower drain or a bunion. Spaghetti-o jello ring from the 60s. Now, I've been unable to confirm whether or not this recipe actually existed in the 60s. Not that I particularly want to, but seemingly everybody and their dog has sent me this. Into a saucepan goes a quarter cup of tomato soup, quarter cup of water. Now 2 packs of gelatin. Wonder what demon will summon today. Fire! Now that this is completely smooth, we remove from heat and add 2 cans of SpaghettiOs. Is life insurance expensive? Into a bunt. Good night. Ooh! Did I mention there were sausages? Because there are sausages. I don't want to do it. That is unnatural. It's like a morgue. I need a hug. Tomato aspic from 1939. Yes, this is arguably the most infamous dish of the 20th century. At one point, it was on every menu from coast to coast. We start with 3 cups of stewed tomatoes, then an onion. What is the size of this onion? This thing's heavier than my self-doubt. 1 celery stalk. Slicey slice. And now for the most pointless herb, the bay leaf. I think of these like small men. You'd have a hard time telling whether it's in or not. A pinch of salt and sugar, plus a single clove. So what are you doing tonight? Into a pot. Fire! Cooking for 10 minutes. Meanwhile, we soak 2 tablespoons of gelatin in a half cup of water. Now we strain this to remove any trace of raisin from the dish. And the gelatin. I don't like the look of this at all. To the fridge. What do you think we garnish this with? Did you guess mayo? Stop jiggling. And some paprika. This is just a commendably daft idea. Tastes like somebody killed Italy. It's like geriatric ketchup. Tuna salad jello. You bet. What are you doing with that tuna, Dylan? Oh, you know, making jello. 1969 Lubbock, Texas Community Cookbook. Cup of water. Salt. Fire. Half a red onion. This was written by Mitchell White. Of course, that's his name. This recipe is making me cry, not the onions. Gelatin! Vinegar! Already smells like death. In you go. Really, Mitchell? I want to know who hurt this man. Celery. Make sure to chop it up all fine and disgusting. 5 ounces of albacore tuna. Are we sure this recipe wasn't written by a cat? Was Mitchell a cat? Now we wait. Oh boy. Oh. How did we get to this? I do this for you. Oh. Mitchell! That's not food. This is a war crime. A vinegar pie from the Great Depression. A modern take on home baking. Sir, your phone number is 4 digits. Pastry! This is my son. Get a little bit dusty. You're gonna want a deep 9-inch. Don't we all? Blind bake at 350. Eggy! No, officer, there's no shell in here. Sugar! Add your Pauladine extract. So far, so good. Vinegar. I take it back. Wakey, wakey, time for school. A dash of sorghum. Well, I don't have sorghum because I don't have a life expectancy of 12. That's the power of pine salt, baby. For thine is the kingdom. Bake to your liking. Sweetie, none of this is my liking. Don't come back. It came back. Nah. Heaven. This is what I'd imagine a toilet brush to taste like. An emergency war cake. No eggs, no milk, no butter, no joy. There's no sugar either. Is this the cake? 2 teacups of raisins. How am I supposed to know how big your teacups are? Ira? 1 teacup of dates. Why do dead people like dates so much? Bam! Fire! 1.5 cups of molasses. Pretty sure this is how diesel is made. Cinnamon! Ira needs cloves. Easy does it. Wouldn't want to ruin a disaster. Here goes nothing. What in good God is this?
Ira, honey, I'm going to war.
Over what?
You're cooking.
Come on! This is the only cake that looks burnt before you bake it.
Oh dear.
Tastes like a boot. Like a size 10 boot. A Watergate salad from 1976. One of the many questionable substances people experimented with in the 70s. Pistachio pudding. In you go. Crushed pineapple.
Hello, you are very green, sir.
Cup of fluffy boys.
Smells like a Palm Springs retirement home.
Time to beat it. Cooperate. Perfect. Good night. Optional walnuts. Walnuts are never optional. Oh my. Nixon wished it was this easy. Cheers. Ooh. Yep. Nixon would have loved this. It's not bad. It's just a cup of diabetes. I can feel my teeth rotting. A water pie from the Great Depression. Can you bake a pie with 4 ingredients? Yes! I could also eat my mattress. Fire your oven. I'm sorry, but we have to let you go. Pastry! It's been 13 months. What if I told you I hate pie? Oh boy, it fits. Fork it. I'm not that desperate. Blind bake the pastry. That's rude. Are you still here? Damn it. Add 3 gills of water. This written for a fish. Is this a joke? Sugar! Flour. I think this qualifies as a pre-existing condition. Unconstitutional. Top with butter. We're not even at a red light. This is not legal! Alright, it finished a bit early, like my ex. It's a breast implant. Yo, man! Very bad. Tastes like lint. Soggy lint. Amish lard cakes from 1895. Lard, 100% solid pig fat, a disturbing concept, and we're going to fry a dessert in it. Start with 1.5 cups of sour milk. They mean buttermilk. Full cup of heavy cream. Oh my. 2 eggs. Oh, this is thick. 1.5 teaspoons of floof soda. Pinch of salt. Add flour until we get a pie dough consistency. I don't know what type of pie dough you're dealing with. Disturbingly dense. And now we heat 2 pounds of lard for deep frying. Pounds! Just get out of the box, please. Ah!
There you go, big boy. Wait, you didn't tell me what shape they are.
When in doubt, triangles. I'm not ready. Just flip. Cooperate. You are... Oh my God. Hello, lard triangle.
You were swimming in animal fat. How does it feel?
Then we roll them in sugar. Ooh. That in my stomach like a bowling ball. The dominant flavor is saturated fat. No spices, just cream and... I have a sudden urge to hibernate. A baked bean pizza from 1954. Now I'm scared of lots of things, including the IRS, clowns, and English majors. But I'm most afraid of beans where they don't belong. Oh dear. The sauce begins with a can of tomato paste. Plus 8 ounces of spaghetti sauce. Really starting out on the wrong foot.
More like the wrong limb.
Add oregano for an authentic taste. I feel like I'm in Italy. For the crust, we squashed together refrigerator biscuits. Sorry, what were you saying about authentic? On goes the sauce. A bit of Parmesan. Now 20 ounces of baked beans.
What part of Italy are you from?
Kentucky? In the center, some fresh mozzarella. How to get an entire country to hate you. Step 1. This. $4.25 for 10, then $3.25 for 20. No. We can serve this with anchovies or sardines. How about a swift death? Oh, what? What is wrong with you? You are sick! It's just vile. A bologna cake from 1966. What's more American than bologna and cake? Eating it. Pack of cream cheese. A tablespoon of onion powder. Plus 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Boy, honey, this sure does smell like a cake, huh? Luis, I'm taking the kids. Are you ready for bologna? Good, because there's a pound of it. She says you'll find the rest of the recipe quite intuitive. No, I don't. Certainly not. Your friends are gonna love the circles of indistinct mammal. Normally, I'm quite comfortable handling meat, but this is physically disturbing me. The last one. To finish, we decorate with spray cheese. This is giving me emotions previously unknown to man. Are you supposed to eat this on crackers or on drugs? It's uncomfy and it's bad. Broiled Humdingers from 1967. Don't ask. This is a spam recipe, one of mid-century America's favorite things, right up there next to big cars and being prejudiced. First up, we put our can of spam in a blender. It's gonna be one of those days, huh? Perfect. If this red flag was any bigger, it would be a blanket. To the ground spam, we add a teaspoon of mustard plus 2 tablespoons of ketchup, which is spelled catsup. Why? Quarter cup of moo juice and a half cup of oats. I just don't understand. Are there worse things than this? Doubt it. You know, jokes aside, I'm quite disturbed by this. The next step is to strain our can of halved peaches. Of course it is. The epitome of logic. I think I'm becoming jaded. Peaches onto a baking sheet. Form some patties. Squish. Broil these on the top rack for 10 minutes. Maybe they'll disappear. Well, some didn't make it, which is unfortunate because it means some did. Well, that was utterly horrendous. Thank you. Cheese cookies from 81. Call me crazy, but I believe that cookies should be sweet, a dessert, a treat. This isn't that. No, our friends from the 80s have come up with a savory appetizer cookie, so we start by melting 2 sticks of oleo. This stuff also goes by the name of margarine, or wrong. Then a half pound of sharp cheddar. Mr. Cheese, I'm so sorry. Sloppy. A teaspoon of red pepper flakes. Worcestershire. A tablespoon of Tabasco. And 2 cups... plus 2 cups... I can't say it. Rice Krispies. I have never seen anything like this. Finally, a pinch of salt and 2 cups of flour. Bake at 350 until golden brown. Oh, no. That's not right. Spicy and cakey and crunchy. Just eat cheese. Pipped beef from World War II, also known as shit on a shingle. Butter, milk, fire. Now we have dried beef. I didn't know beef came in a jar. Chop up your dehydrated cow, pamper bath, flour, pepper. Boys, it's time to toast. I can see where the name comes from. No. Yeah, it's not good. It tastes like it's insulting me. A Civil War cake. Of course it uses lard. Why not? Honey, call the police. 2 cups of raisins. It's always the raisins. Add 1 egg of lard. What are you feeding your chickens? You happy, sister? Fire! A cup of coffee. No. 1 cup of coffee. This is a misdemeanor. I think I've summoned something. Brown sugar, eggy, lard. What do you want me to do with this? Call the CDC. This is the South's revenge. Flour, apples, add nuts. How much? I need nut instructions. Cinnamon. Woo! Smells deceased. Seems to have collapsed, like the South. Tastes damp, wet. Clam biscuits from 1974. Now I love biscuits and I love clams, but do they belong together? Well, as my parents tried explaining to a 12-year-old me when they divorced, probably not. We begin with 2 cups of flour, 3 teaspoons of floof powder, then 2 tablespoons of shortening. Vegetable shortenings are great for when you want something like butter, but worse. Please get off the spoon. Please, sir. Mix with hands. In goes a half cup of moo juice, then a can of minced clams. Little strange, fam, but you do you. Yep, those are clams. Oh, it wants the juice, too. Mix. Drop these into a muffin pan. So are they biscuits or are they muffins? What are you? That's what I used to ask my sexuality in high school. Hello? Butter. I see. I'm getting a top note of cat food, like someone dropped a biscuit in a fish tank. Yeah, those taste like low tide. That is to say, New Englanders would love it. A coal miner cake from 1936. Starting off on the right foot here with a half cup of lard. If I cut off my feet, do we still have to do this? This stuff is great, you know. You can run your tractor on it. Brown sugar. Drizzle of molasses. Is this the coal? 4 eggies. They did you dirty. We seem to have made a chamber pot. Flour. Cuckoo. Half cup of strong coffee. Fire! Now we mix baking soda into sour cream. There are too many things happening. Get in! Then we alternate flour, coffee, flour, coffee. You are banished. Has it unionized? Looks good, but looks can be deceiving. They're very dense and pungent. Suppose I wouldn't mind it if I was in a coal mine, but in a coal mine I'm not. A cottage cheese JELLO salad from '68. That's not a typo, this is deliberate. Someone publish this! and got paid for it. Let's not make assumptions, though. We begin with a pint of cottage cheese, followed by a can of crushed pineapple. Well drained, of course, like my hope. Next, we joyously sprinkle in an entire packet of lime jello. Can I start making assumptions now? Oh, come on. Ma'am, do you know what a salad is? Because whatever you think, it's wrong. Lastly, we fold in a tub of Cool Whip. To the fridge! At least nothing hatched. Ma'am, no. It's just disrespectful. A crusty spam bake from 1965. You guys are gonna be the end of me. To start, we're gonna need some cornflakes. Promise, I'm not making this up. In your bag. Crumbs. Now we get our can of spam and we cry. Slice into 8 pieces using a knife. Thanks for that tip. I was in danger of using a spoon. To the cornflake crumbs, we add 2 tablespoons of brown sugar and a dash of cloves. Because why not go full manic? Drain a can of pineapple slices and brush with butter. Just another day in America. Coat the spam slices in mustard. No, don't make... 20 minutes at 350. All right. That ain't it. The dump cake from '68. So post-World War II saw the invention of the cake mix, but for some Americans that was still too much work. And so the dump cake was invented. Let's take a dump. Directly into an oiled baking dish goes 20 ounces of pie filling. Goodbye, cherries. Then we just dump cake mix on top. This is sacrilegious, preposterous, daft. Melt a cup of butter. Then you just dump that on too. Then you get to bake your dump. Golly gee. $3.75 for 50 minutes. This is for people who hate baking. And I don't like those people. We have a done dump. It's fresh. Fresh dump. It's an unenthusiastic cobbler. I mean, yeah, it's all right, but it's all wrong. If you're going to bake, bake. A cake should be an occasion, not a disfigured dump on a plate. ECONO meatloaf from the Great Depression. Yes, this is a depression meatloaf, which happens to be what I call myself when I'm wrapped in blankets at 2 a.m. watching Netflix covered in Pop-Tart crumbs. But anyway, we start with 6 slices of bread, preferably like my dating life. Stale. Remove the crusts. If you're over the age of 6 and you still do this, good for you. Don't let anyone tell you how to eat. Move to a bowl. Save the crusts. Add a cup of oats and a can of evaporated milk. The meat remains unseen. Perhaps it's waiting for marriage. Pepper. 2 teaspoons of salt and a teaspoon of poultry seasoning. I'm not sure if anyone told you, but beef is a cow. You know the mooing? Time for just a pound of ground beef. Mix thoroughly. This is more grain than meat. Get it. Then we add ketchup. Press in the bread crusts. Railroad track looking Union Pacific meatloaf. And finally, more ketchup. Bake this in a moderate oven for an hour. That is unpleasant. It tastes like it's saving me money. Hard times. Frog eye salad from 1968. Start by boiling a pot of water. Fire! Cook a box of acini de pepe to al dente. You know, the other word for al dente is correct. To a new saucepan, we have a cup of sugar, dash of flour, 2 eggies, then the juice from all of this canned pineapple. You see this? This is concern. Cook this, drain the pasta. Time to go. Ugh. We've chilled both of these down, and now we start combining. Pineapple. Why? The author calls this her comfort food. I call it a mistake. Pound of mandarin oranges, a tub of Cool Whip, a cup of... cup of marshmallows. Add salt if it needs it. It doesn't need salt, it needs help. To the fridge. I just don't understand. Yeah, so it's not good. Frozen orange juice pie from '53. Now, I've seldom heard of orange-flavored pies, likely because it's a bad idea, but Betty Crocker doesn't think so. Pastry! Hello. You were misshapen. Stop it! Then we form this to a pie dish. An 8-inch is preferable. It sure is, Betty. 8 minutes at 475. Now we dilute our frozen orange juice concentrate with just 1 can of water. What are you looking at? Into a saucepan, a cup of sugar, 1/4 cup cornstarch. Done. 1/2 cup of OJ. Slowly whisking in until boiling. Fire! The yolks of 2 eggs. Temper the eggs. Get back in. After a minute, remove from heat and add 2 tablespoons of butter. Meringue? What are you doing, Betty? The 2 egg whites. 1/4 cup of sugar. stiff. Get in.
So the pie's not frozen, is it, Betty?
No, it was just the orange juice.
400 for 10 minutes. Looks a bit sad. Wow. It's an orange meringue pie with really bad oranges. No. Hardtack from the Civil War. Yes, whether it's expeditions, famines, wars, or student debt, this is what we bake in times of crisis. We start with 2 cups of flour, half cup of water. I bet you thought there was more.
Nope, there's not.
That's right, this is the most basic recipe in the history of history. Talk about stretching $1. This is some spandex level stretch.
Oh, you're gluten-free?
Sorry, all we have is gluten. We cut them into sad little squares.
Time to poke some holes.
You know, these kind of look like graham crackers. If graham crackers were made out of drywall.
We then bake these boys at 250 for upwards of 4 hours to remove most of the moisture. And that's how these will last longer than even the most talented of men. These are roof tiles. Well, this is a first. Y'all really said Ford tough. Just aggressive. I mean, it doesn't taste bad. It's bread. Danger bread, but bread. Now, of course, you shouldn't eat them dry, but the taste is the same.